Get Cloud Curious. I'm Sean Boland, an AWS Authorized Champion Instructor with New Horizons. I have a helpful AWS tip for you today regarding EC2 User Data. Let's get started. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. It is the virtual machine service in AWS, allowing us to build operating systems or virtual machines in the cloud. And then, of course, you can do anything you want to with those, install databases and file services, etc. When we are creating an EC2 instance, we are building it from an AMI, that's Amazon Machine Image. That's a template. Basically, what's your starting point image or what's your starting point template for the machine? AWS provides hundreds of these. We can get them from third-party vendors through the AWS Marketplace, or you could create your own. With the AWS provided AMIs, you can think about those as really just kind of a base virtual machine. They don't have anything special installed on them. In my example, I'm going to install an Amazon Linux machine. Now, that's AWS's own flavor of Linux. It's just a plain Linux operating system. Now, if I were to install this, I would then log in and customize it, install my software, configure it, run my patches on it. But what if I'd like to update that? What if I would like to automate that process? At the very bottom of the wizard, where you're creating your virtual machine in the EC2 console, there's this little section out here for user data. Now on the left is before. There's no user data as I'm filling out my form for the virtual machine. But notice on the right, I've pasted in some user data. Now you might recognize this. This is a bunch of essentially Linux commands or shell scripting commands. What this is going to do is this is going to execute this code automatically when the machine is built. It's really a startup script. EC2 User Data allows me, the administrator, to plug in any commands, any functions, any scripts that I'd like to have run automatically when my machine is being built. That is going to save me a lot of time. I won't have to manually configure my machine after that. Again, here's the code that I utilized. It's going to reach out and install a couple of different services, PHP and a couple of others. It's going to turn on the HTTPD service. It's going to download some website code into a directory. It's going to unzip that. I'm automating things that I would normally have to do manually. As I tell my students in class, if you can script it, you can automate it. And here, that's exactly what we're doing with user data. Now, this particular user data example built me a web server. On the right-hand side of the screen, this is my web server. After it built, it ran this user data, and it essentially built that little sample website on the machine out there. I didn't have to do that manually. And that's the point of user data. If you can script it, you can do it. This example is for a Linux machine, so you're seeing Linux commands or shell scripting commands. If this was a Windows operating system, we'd be doing the same thing with the PowerShell language. Administrators love automation. EC2 User Data is about automation. Let's automate the configuration of our machines as they are being built, as opposed to doing that manually afterwards. I hope that tip helped you out. Get cloud curious. Reach out to your New Horizons account executive today or visit newhorizons.com to learn more about our AWS authorized classes.